Do you want him to die half of a one whole thing, which means 0.05. As I was saying, 0.05 should be 0.05. 0.05. And welcome back, my silver cups and ice. And today, I will prove that 2 plus 2 equals 5. These numbers, phonetically pronounced is 2. They are pointing at someone, to something else, but to where? Where are they pointing? To where? These two truths just pointing at the blank space. Where are they pointing? Are they pointing this way? Or are they pointing this way? And usually in 3D space, there's only this much of possibility, which means 365 possibilities, which means 365 possible points. If this space was 3D, it will be different, like dimension and stuff, okay? It will be infinite amount of possible points. But now we are talking about only 2D dimension. So as you can see, 2D also have 2 in it. Is it coincidence or not? And we will find that out right now. So right now we have 2 2s and we have 1 2. And we have 2 5 and we don't care about these numbers because these are just irrelevant. But if you really want to include these numbers, you can say like there's 3 2s and then there's like 6 numbers. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But still, 365. It's still a lot. It's still a lot. But if you look at this, there is infinite amount of pixels. Yeah, that's another term that we will use today. And what does it do? It basically means just there's infinite amount of space, square spaces, or it could be circle, and which means these two could be pointing at the infinite amount of space. And do you know what that means? There could be any reality. There could be a reality where you didn't break up with your girlfriend. Also, side note, mate, move on. We have infinite amount of spaces, but we have limited amount of points. And do you know what that means? We will multiply this by 365, and which means we have the infinity multiplied by 365. Remember this, okay? Remember this shit. As you can see, if you look at this close, there could be anything, as I was saying, but in this infinite amount of space, there's only one thing that I really want, and that is you. Not in a creepy way, but I just want to talk to you. You seem really nice person, and it's been long since I've met such a person. But anyway, so let's go back to this equation. So we have 2 2, which means it's another version of point plus point equals 5. So as you can see from basic math equation, these arrows equals 2.5. Also, which means they are half of a one whole thing, which means 0.05. Also, if you look at the infamous 2, you can see some patterns, okay? So, what does 2 consist of? 2 has a circle, well, half of a circle, and it has this small thing. It's a line, and we have another line. And if you combine these things, you have an ice cream. If you add something like this, it will look like a hot air balloon. But the point is, this looks like a piece of cake also. Now. Look, I'm gonna prove this, okay? I'm gonna prove it to you. So, this piece of cake is almost around like this much. This is a piece of cake, this number. As I was saying, 0.05 should be the half of full thing. And what does it say? This piece of cake is a half of a full thing too. It was just a heart-shaped cake. It may look like a little bit distorted, misformed or something. In the end of the day, no matter how it looks, it's still delicious. Only lucky ones will eat you. So don't worry if you're thinking that you're unattractive, ugly, or unlovable. Time will come. It only applies to the people who takes off their shoes when entering a house. Especially Asian household. Yes, Charlotte, I'm talking to you, you disgusting fucker. But people who take off the shoe already, you're this cake. Tasty, charming cake. So back to the math equation. So this is like a half a cake, and which proves that this is 0.05. The whole thing was just in a different shape, but it's still a thing, right? So, and that proves that this arrow is half of one thing. But, of course I'm not gonna end here. I have another thing that I can prove. So back to this equation. So this is basic math equation, as you can see. But at the core, it's alive. And do you know why? Because just like every living things, well, not really every living things, so just like every mammals, this too is the leg, and this too is the arms. And do you know what happens when person only has 2 legs and 2 arms? They fucking die. Humans can't live without the thing that connects these limbs, but also a head. Where is it? Where is the head? So back to the equation. We have 2 legs, 2 arms. We have the combination of these things, which is the 5. And the 5 is actually the head. 5 is a big number, bigger number than this 2, and which means it bars around these 2. But what's holding them together is the torso. But where is the torso? Well, it's actually very obvious. As you can see, we have the plus, and it basically means like combining 2 things or multiple things, right? And which is a perfect fit for a torso. Look at that beautiful torso. This plus sign actually shouldn't be here, shouldn't represent the torso, but people need it to exist, or else it's a pretty brutal scene of gore. And you don't want to traumatize anyone just because you don't believe in 2 + 2 = 5, right? Do you want him to die? Do you want this human to die? I want them to live longer, so I can torture them more. So we have legs, hands, torso, head. And now, let's go back to our cake method. It was like a whole thing, right? I actually basically just explained that this cake is basically you, and which means this is your human form. This is you guys. Look at that. Look at that fanboy looking bitch. Also, now let's go back to our last equation. And yes, don't cry, don't cry. This video will end, but the series won't end. If you want me to manipulate you, just go to my channel, and there's plenty other woke videos. Now let's go back to this equation. Infinite multiplied by 365. And we already found out that infinity is basically you. Oh, you missed that? Oh shit, I thought I'd have to explain this. Maybe it was a voice in my head. Anyway, this is you guys, because you are my infinite source of joy. And I love you guys so much. And now let's go back to the 365, and which means I will multiply you by 365, which makes it the best audience ever. And I'm gonna draw our cake here. Look at that, isn't it cute? And that's it, my silver cups and ice. I'll prove that 2 + 2 = 5 with like basic math and basic logic. And I just proved that you guys are either stupid or highly sophisticated enough to watch this video. Now, claim that you are one of my silver cups and ice by hitting those magic buttons. Will you? Will you hit those magic buttons? I know you will. I know you will. So that was it, and I will see you again later.